All right, so it is officially that time of the week again. We've got ourselves a brand new Grow a Garden update with a bunch of actually pretty cool stuff. There's a lot of controversy behind this entire update. I know that I talked about it earlier on in the week. And as a matter of fact, right now there is a special event that's going on that's actually brand new called Working Bee Swarm, 10x craft speed, higher pollinated fruit chance. So yes, we are pretty much just jumping right into this. This week, we're going to sort of do this a little bit different. I want to go ahead and kind of knock out all of the important stuff that you guys are the absolute most interested in right at the start of the video. So let's open up here with obviously a brand new seed has been added in shop, specifically a brand new prismatic. This one is called Sugar Apple. And as you can see from my hotbar down here, I actually have two of them right here. So we're going to place these down and I'm going to show you guys, one, what they look like, and two, how much a base one sells for. Now, unfortunately, watering can is not quite working on this right now because it still says 51 minutes. So I think I'm kind of cooked right now. So already we're off to a rough start. Now, lucky for us, we do have a couple of testers here in the server and they have a sugar apple tree right over here. So this is what it looks like. Nothing really too crazy, but from what I've heard, at least in the testing right now, I'm not sure by the time that you guys are watching this, what it is in the live servers, but it is selling for a pretty decent amount. Oh, I actually got mine to work. It's literally growing now, finally. Now, as I was saying before, the base sell value from this, to my knowledge, is give or take about 45K, sometimes even 55K. Now, I know that sounds like a little bit, but keep in mind that unlike something like the sunflower or the ember lily or even the beanstalk, this does grow multiple in one tree. To my knowledge, the least amount that you can get is about 4 of them, with the highest amount being somewhere around like 6 or 7 on a tree. So it's pretty decent. I'm not saying that it's the best in the entire game, but it is pretty decent. Now, as far as the seed shop goes, that is pretty much everything over there. There is a lot of other seeds that we're going to go over, but just touching bases really quickly on both of these shops. Moving over now to the gear shop. Inside of here, you're going to find a brand new item called the cleaning spray. As of right now, this is selling for 15 million and it says cleans mutations off of fruits and uses. Now, obviously in my case, this is not very useful. I don't think I'll ever be using this, but there is a specific reason why this was added. And for that, we're going to go ahead now and transition over to the next portion. And the sole kind of like purpose of this entire update being the crafting system. So over here in the middle, you're going to notice that the busy bee bear is going to sort of kind of like evolve once this update drops. His platform is going to become a little bit bigger, and he's also going to get a bunch of cool little workbenches around him. 2 of these are actually interactable. The one in front of him is going to have a bunch of different recipes that allow you to create different types of sprinklers, while the second portion of this allows you to create sort of different mutation sprays. Now, this is obviously pretty cool, and obviously, again, like I said before, not really the most useful to a lot of people until you get to the bottom here where you notice that we finally are going to have the ability to get some anti-bee eggs. Keep in mind, it does take 2 hours to craft this, but something is better than nothing. So this is actually pretty cool. I'm kind of curious to see what people are going to think about this. But besides that, at the very bottom here, you'll notice that there's something a little bit different compared to pretty much everything else inside of this recipe list, and that's this pet down here called a pack bee. What this does is increase your backpack size by 25, with by far the longest craft time being 4 hours. Sort of coming back over here to the top, the sprinklers all do sort of something different. For example, up here we have the tropical mist sprinkler, increases the growth speed and size bonus for coconuts, dragon fruits, mangoes, cacao, as well as watermelon. Every single one of these are craftable for a total of 1 hour, but keep in mind that every single one of the sprinklers do sort of last for a different amount of time. For example, the stock sprout over here is 2 minutes. Meanwhile, the sweet soaker is for 5 minutes. The only thing that they all share in common is the fact that it does take 1 hour to craft them. On the other hand, these mutation sprays are a little bit different. Every single one of them do sort of vary. You have the mutation spray chalk over here, which covers a fruit in chocolate. This one will basically take you 12 minutes to go ahead and craft. Then you have pollinated, which takes 5 minutes. And probably the one that a lot of people are going to be the most interested in is the mutation spray shocked. This adds shock to the fruit, but it does take 30 minutes to craft. Turning around over here, we have another crafting table. This one is where the seeds come into play. As you guys know, inside of the queen bee shop over here, you can buy these flower seed packs, which a lot of people already are kind of, past this already. I feel like for the most part, a good chunk of people have Sunflower already. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure there's a lot of you out there that are still trying to get it. Hopefully, fingers crossed, you're able to get it for this update. But to those of you that have already gotten it and you want to go ahead and sort of move on, because sure enough, if we open up the shop over here, there is going to be a brand new pack for Robux. It's called the Exotic Crafter Seed Pack. And inside of here, the best brand new sort of seed is called the Dragon Pepper for a 0.5%. The thing is that this Crafter Seed Pack, you can actually obtain it as well by turning 1 flower seed pack and 10 honey every single 20 minutes into one of these packs to be able to get yourself that Dragon Pepper. Same chances as the Robux one, 0.5%. Obviously, the kicker here is that it is going to take you 20 minutes per pack. I think it's safe to say that I just have terrible luck with this. Oh, wait, hold on a second. I actually got a mythical and I get an uncommon right after and a mythical. Wait, am I actually cooking right now? A legendary violet corn. Now, while my sugar apple is doing its thing over there, I'm going to show you guys some of these new stuff over here. So right over here on the right side, we have the succulent. In the middle, we've got a bamboo, which is basically a bamboo that sort of like whirls all the way around. Kind of cool, to be honest, actually. And definitely a lot easier to climb in its own sort of little weird way. Over here, we have the crocus, which is one of the more common ones. And then here we have the violet corn, which is sort of still growing right now, but you kind of get the idea. Now, the one that everyone's going to care about is the Dragon Pepper. We're going to have to come back to this one because it is sort of growing out right now. So in the meantime, let's head back over here and go over a couple of other things. Because although we did sort of focus on just the Crafter Seed Pack, if we scroll down here, you'll notice that there is a lot of different other seeds that you can also obtain through here by combining things like a daffodil as well as an orange tulip with a little bit of honey. You can get a manuka seed, grab yourself 2 bamboos as well as a manuka flower and 20 honey, and you can get yourself a dandelion seed. Bunch of different stuff going on here. Lumira, we got honeysuckle, bee balm, nectar thorn, and the sun coil being the big boy for this update. It requires a crocus, a daffodil, a dandelion, pink lily, as well as 40 honey. All right, so I've gone ahead and let everything grow out, but unfortunately the sun coil I think is sort of bugged in the test server right now because it's been, man, I want to say like 40 minutes and this thing just doesn't want to let me harvest it. Again, I'm not 100% sure if this is intended to just be a cosmetic sort of plant, which wouldn't make any sense whatsoever. But either way, this is what it looks like right here. On the left side here, we have the nectar thorn. Down here, we have the bee balm. And then, of course, we have the violet corn actually grown out and the succulent actually grown out as well. But the one that I really want to talk about is the dragon pepper. As you guys know, over here, I talked really quickly about the sugar apple, told you guys that it was fairly decent, nothing really too crazy. If you take a look here, there's actually 8 of them that have grown from this tree. Dragon peppers, we got about 6 of them on the tree. And if we come over here, we have ourselves a sugar apple with absolutely no mutation whatsoever. As I mentioned before, sell value on this is somewhere around the 40k, maybe even 50k if you get lucky. Now, right over here, we have a dragon pepper with no mutation whatsoever. And I also used no sprinkler, so this is just a regular old dragon pepper that'll grow. These bad boys are selling for over 100k a piece. And again, keep in mind that is with absolutely no mutations whatsoever. So I am absolutely excited to get these dragon peppers in the main game once they drop. Now, speaking of mutations, if you guys are around when the update does drop, there is brand new sort of admin commands that are going to be used more than likely during those pre-hours before the update drops. Give or take about 2 hours before is usually when Jandel goes ahead and starts pushing out. If you take a look at my inventory here, I have a molten bamboo, and this is what it looks like right here. It is from an event that is considered an admin event, so probably be expecting this during the weekend. If you take a look over here in my inventory, I also have another one called a meteoric bamboo. This is what it looks like. Nothing really too crazy. On the base, it kind of has like a little bit of a yellow aura to it, but this again is another event that's going to happen more than likely during this weekend. So be on the lookout for that. Make sure that you guys are online 2 hours before. I don't know if I'll be live 2 hours before, but we'll definitely be live 1 hour before. But while you're watching this, make sure to swing by because we'll more than likely be live right now. Now for the final bit here, I sort of have one of every single one of the new sprinklers. I'll go ahead and sort of place these down so you can take a look at them. But if you notice, they have a very, very big range, very similar to like a master sprinkler, for example. Then we also have the berry blusher sprinkler. This one, not really as big as the other one, but it's, you know, it's just there. Next up, we got the tropical mist. This one has a pretty decent range. I'll go ahead and place that down right here so you can take a look at it. We got the stock sprout sprinkler, which I'll place over here so it sort of makes sense being right next to my beanstalk. There it goes right there. Not really the best range on it, but you get the idea. Next up, we have the flower froster sprinkler. I'll put this one right over here. And finally, we have the spice spritzer sprinkler. Again, not the craziest range on this one. By far, the sweet soaker is the one that has the craziest range out of all of them. But this is what they look like right here, man. Pretty cool, to be honest. Now, of course, as I mentioned before, I do have some of these sprays. Specifically, here I have the chalk one. So we'll go up to, for example, one of these candy blossoms right up here. Let's just jump right there. And now it is a pollinated wet chalk. I have the spray, which is the one that has the shock on it. I can go ahead and also put that on there. So if you look, now this has pollinated shock, wet, and chalk. The last one obviously being a pollinated one. So we'll have to find one that isn't pollinated around here. Let's see. We'll go ahead and do this dragon pepper right over here. Let's click right there. And now it is pollinated. Overall, pretty cool. I mean, for example, this is a regular clean spray. I guess if I wanted to get rid of, like, for example, the pollinated on this, I could just go ahead and, you know, spray on it. Boom. Now it has absolutely no mutations whatsoever. In that aspect, I guess it sort of makes sense. Also, the sun coil is finally able to be harvested. It is currently pollinated, so I'm going to go ahead and clean this up really quick. We're going to pick it up and see what the sell value on this is, because that took an absurd amount of time to grow. All right, so this is it right here. Let's see what this is worth. 101K. Definitely not worth it for that at all. The sun coil needs a buff for sure, dude. I swear, I'm not even exaggerating. That took maybe like 45 minutes to grow. Now, for the most part, that pretty much does it all. The only other thing missing is maybe just like minor fixes. Like, for example, pets. Now in this menu, you can go ahead and see things like what each and every single one of the pets do instead of having to chase after them to be able to view what their passive is. On top of that, you can also see every single time that their passive is actually going to start up. It isn't exactly a live counter, but it is fairly decent. Like if you notice, it's at 45 seconds right now. Then it drops down to 39 seconds. It's kind of delayed a little bit, but it definitely helps you get a general idea on when that passive is going to sort of take effect. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think about this update. And if you enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for the support. I appreciate it. We're going to be on the grind of focusing up for this week coming up. I've had a lot of crazy stuff going on in real life for the last 2 weeks. We're getting back into the groove of things. I know that I keep saying this, but this time I definitely do promise it, man. We'll be back again on Monday, locked in and focused. So I will see you guys then. Take care.